Welcome along to the Zoom room. It's Johnny Ward standing in for Luke Tarr with Bill and Sil. Sil is in a hotel room, I think, Silvestre de Sousa, after riding at Royal Ascot. How are you?
I'm good, yeah, thank you. Yeah, just in the hotel room and, just trying to freshen up for tomorrow again.
A man who's trying to freshen up after the heat of Royal Ascot, where it was nearly 30 degrees today, is Bill Esdaile. How are you, Bill?
Yeah, cooling off. Nothing that a winner will be good. That'll help me cool down a bit.
Well, helpfully, Sil has a load of big rides on Thursday, which is third day of Royal Ascot. Let's get straight into it, into the Norfolk with Go Bears Go. This is a horse you haven't ridden, Sil, but first time out course and distance winner, obviously going in at the deep end here.
Yes, and I'm very lucky. Probably got the ride in the race, and King Power doesn't have any 2-year-old runners this year. But I was just pleased I got the call, and he has done nothing wrong. One first time out, he's a course distance winner. We're chasing the dream now, and Group 2. But I think he's there with a mix. He won, and the ground was a bit kind than the way he is now. But I think he could be there in the shake-up.
It was pretty quick on day one, was it?
He was, yeah. He was impressive. Yeah, to me, he was quite impressive. Was a good shout in the first day, and Dave Loughnane usually doing very well with his 2-year-old. So I am sure he looked for a big run, and so do I.
What did you make of the ground on day one at Ascot?
And fast ground, no jar, but proper fast ground. I haven't, his top horses running a fast ground, makes all the difference.
And this will suit Bill. You'd imagine the American horse Lucci or Lucky, who's trained by Wesley Ward, who's been well touted for this race, and it's a race where there's going to be a lot of pace on.
Yeah, I mean we're guessing as to what the ground will be on Thursday, which is the big thing, because there is this kind of inclemental weather around, and it's supposed to be raining on Thursday and heavy rain on Friday. So we just don't know the quantities involved and the timings involved, whether it's kind of post racing on Thursday or whether it's during racing on Thursday. I think the rain will definitely help Silv's horse Go Bears Go, just if it comes in time for the first on the Thursday. The American horses you've got to respect. Wesley Ward's won this race twice. Aiden you've got to respect. He's won this race twice, but they're all at the top of the market for that reason. I would probably swing at some bigger price ones. I thought Novello could be forgiven. Maybe the ground was just a bit too soft for that last time. It's a 20-1 shot for George Bowie. I thought that could go well. And I would probably take a chance on Perfect Power, the Richard Fahey horse. His 2-year-old was third in the Coventry on Tuesday. And I thought he was 20-1 too. I thought I'd chance my arm on those two, but wide open race, painfully difficult, and probably better to move on.
Yeah, that's the one kind of bit of word I got from America this week was to back that horse. It'd be interesting to see how he gets on, but I love those speedy American horses coming over. Just to mention as well, the pipped at the post, if you are pipped by a neck or less in all the ITV races, your money back to a pony stake. Now, onto the 305, Notre Belle Beat. This is a maiden sale who's actually, my eyes were taken by this. You're riding for an Irish trainer, Darren Bunyan here. This is a highly tried maiden who's obviously his first run sticks out a mile because he was behind none other than Poetic Flair. He is still a maiden, but it's interesting that they come over here with this horse who's obviously in new colours now.
Yes, and and very lucky probably got the horse. They bought the horse. Now they're running King Power Racing. Yes, we with hopes with this horse, and he hasn't broke a maiden yet. He taken on now a couple of good horses, and he has run in when the ground is a bit kind than probably what he is now. But I just hope to get Luke in the race, and he run well for me.
What do you know about him?
And like they would say, they have big hopes. He's been through a couple of good walks at home, and so. Will be all interest, and I have to see how we get on.
The problem here, Bill, is the opposition.
Yeah, this is the deep end. this is the deep end. Close your ears, Silv. Mo Hafeth is going to be one of the bankers of the week if the rain stays away. William Haggis pulled this horse out on Derby Day. He will hope the rain doesn't come till after this race, or he'll have a difficult situation. But the ground should be fine for Mo Hafeth. Son of Frankel won so impressively at Newmarket and travels on the bridle, does it all very easy. This trip, mile and 2, will suit him. The easy track will suit him. It's not Epsom. It's not a mile and a half. I think Moaheff will take loads of beating. I think there's some 11 to 8 out there. I wouldn't be surprised if he starts odds on if the rain doesn't come. I think he's a very, very good fast ground horse. Roman Empire, Aiden's horse has got to jump up a bit for me. I think he's got a bit to prove, and he might have a for sale tag on his bum because to go to Hong Kong, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes there. I can see One Ruler running well if the rain comes. He was well fancied in the Derby and ran really well. Before his stamina probably gave away, ran well in the Guineas over a mile. This trip's probably perfect for him. So probably Moaheff to win, One Ruler to chase him home. Obvious, but probably the reality.
In a race like this, Sil, when you're riding a horse, he's probably going to be 2025s. Do you half ride him to place in the sense of I'd prefer if he finished third than fifth, because you're conscious that there is a hot favourite in the race?
Absolutely. Well, it's a kind of race you can't go there and throw the kitchen sink from the gates. You know, you have to ride a race on a horse. You need to find out a bit more of the horse. He hasn't broke a maiden yet. He's still a maiden. And we'll be thrown in a deep end with couple experienced horses. So you have to give every chance for your horse to finish the race.
The 5 o'clock, you have a fascinating ride here, Aryan Power. This is a horse by Kingman who doesn't seem to win by very far. You rode him a couple of runs back when he won. He's one of the more interesting at a price on the day. Yes,
and you know, I think he's a good horse and he's going the right way. And we chose the Britannia because he got a lot of speed, and we think a mile is the right trip for him.
What do you make of Kingman horse in general?
And good horse, throw nice, got turn and foot. You couldn't put them up front and right from the back. He is very genuine stallion. So
yeah, this is a fascinating horse and a fascinating race, Bill.
Yeah, I mean, you could make this is the traditional kind of plotting race where everyone's had this race in mind, and you know, it's which one you think is still well ahead of the curve. I like Air to Air, George Bowie's horse. I thought that was really impressive at Doncaster. Jamie Spencer rides him. I thought he's going to be of the leading hopes, going to be competitive. And Radabog, the variant horse, I thought was really impressive. He's rattled off his last 3, but you can make a case out for so many of those. Perotto, another one that rattled home last time. Painfully difficult race to get right, but yeah, I'd probably go Air to Air and Radabog.
The next race, you're hoping for Glenn again to get in. Obviously, still is first reserve in the race. This horse might have a little bit to do in this company. Maybe there's a suggestion that the stable form is a slight concern going into day 3, but obviously you're hoping at the very least that the horse gets in.
Yes, it's a tough race, but with that weight, you know, I would love to get the horse in, you know, if he could get in, because I think probably the better horse have to do a lot of work, you know, behind him. And with 8-6, let's hope in the day something comes out and we can get into the race. It will be nice.
What sort of shape is the horse in, do you know?
And he's in good form. And I was talking to Charlie, and he'd say just hope he to get in, and he'd say he'll give them a race. So
it's the team of the day, really, Bill, isn't it? Competitive stuff.
Yeah, it's this is an interesting race, and I remember when Aiden had the 1, 2, 3 a few years ago. I remember saying to myself, "Wow, don't ignore Aiden O'Brien kind of Derby horses that slip into handicap company because they might be en route to the Irish Derby." And Salamarak, top weight,
started off 85, I think, in his first handicap.
Yeah. I mean, he could be very smart though. He was on my radar for the Derby, and I think there's some 6-1 available about Salamarak. I think he'll go
one of the plunges of the week potentially.
Yeah, I could see this horse being a 5-2, 11-4, a proper Ballydoyle gamble on this, and I think he'll take a lot of beating. I respect. Fun enough, the stable mates and William Bruce could run well, and I like the Godolphin horse Siskany, but Salamarak for me around 6-1 if you can get it would be a very strong selection. I think he's going to take a lot of beating. Interesting,
the Irish handicappers on day 1, 2 of them were absolutely hammered in the betting, neither one. But yeah, to be interesting, I tend to agree with you there. I think that horse could be well backed. Now, let's get to Bielsa. Sil, you're obviously a massive fan of Brazil, watching the Euros, adopting England as your team, I believe, after their win over Croatia. Bielsa, the horse, bombed out actually at this meet last year. And I have a couple of questions for you in relation to him. Will he get the trip, and does the track actually not suit him?
Yes, and you know, the question mark with this horse is the ground. He likes a bit of give on the ground, you know. But I have no doubt he'll get the trip. For the last two times I've been riding him, and it taken him a long time to get going. And even last time out over 6 furlong, And I think if we could manage to get the ground, if the rain's coming, get a bit toe into the ground, he stays every yard of the trip. I'm not, I have no doubt with that.
How do you? So you're riding that horse fully confident he will stay?
He definitely, yeah, he'll be one traveling from halfway to up front, and then we hope he keep going.
And you can imagine, Bill, our legion of fans of Sil, it's the last race on day 3. Maybe they've lost a few quid on the day, but they've invested, and this horse is cantering at the furlong pole, shouting "Oi, oi" as he gets home at a nice price. Or is that going to be the case?
Yeah, if the rain comes, that's the big if. And if Silv could have manually positioned this race on the Thursday, it would be at 6:10 rather than 2:30. The forecast is to be believed. So when he makes his way back to the weighing room, he'll want the pitter patter of rain. The more rain, the better his chance. I thought this was, again, a wide open race like you'd expect for Ascot. Aldery deserves to be favourite. If the rain comes, he'll be more interesting than the Haggis horse. My selection, I'd probably go for 2 in this. I would go Boardman, because I don't think we've seen the ceiling of his ability yet. I thought he was really impressive at Chester. They come here rather than the Wokium, the Easterby camp. I thought Boardman around 10 or 11 to 1 would go really well. And the other one was that Lord Campari. I just think he's a very good horse, the Varian horse. I think there's some 12 to 1 out there. I think that's very competitive. I think he went off too quick last time. I think he's just an interesting runner. So Boardman and Lord Campari, but Silv will be praying for rain.
Praying for rain, yeah. And Justin, really, obviously, it'd be remiss of us not to mention the big race. Stradivarius attempting to emulate the 8s and winning the race again. Obviously, Batash kind of bombed out a bit as one of the returning superstars on day 1, but it's just very, very hard to pick a hole in this horse, Bill.
Yeah, he is very hard to pick a hole in, like you say. And the weird thing, he's trying to win his 4th Gold Cup. This would be his 5th win in succession at the Royal Meet, and he's only 7. If you ask people, if I said to you how old is he, everyone would be like 8, 9, 10. It's extraordinary that he's only 7. And bar the blip at Ascot in October last year, he bounced back. He looked as good as ever. He's very, very hard to beat, and his main rivals are desperate for rain. That's the key to this race. Subjectivist and Trusham will both want a bit of rain. He's pretty rock solid, and if the rain doesn't come in time, I could see him being odds on and being very, very hard to beat. I would probably play Twilight Payment as just a bit of value each way.
Yeah, he's a big price, and yeah, he's absolutely made for this test.
Yeah, I just thought Twilight Payment and Emperor of the Sun might be big prices against the favourite, primarily because I think for the likes of Subjectivist and Trushan, if they're ridden to try and beat Stradivarius, they might not quite finish out their race, and something could come and nick a place like Emperor of the Sun or like Twilight Payment. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a great race.
And you'd imagine still as well, I know you don't have a ride in the race, but there's going to be a great reception if this horse wins. Crowds have been, unable to race for so long. It'll kind of remind us why we're all here, really, why we love the game, and, why we love these flat horses who stay in training.
It's unbelievable. He got massive. It follows, So, the crowd, I think, will go through the roof.
Does he win?
Yeah, I think so.
The crowd,
yeah.
The crowd will go through the roof. Jamie Spencer.
Yeah.
It's a difficult one because he's got a nice ride in the Britannia afterwards, so he won't be able to.
What's your best pick of your mounts on the day, Sil?
I think Beyonce, if the rain coming, he could be on Aaron Power. I think that will be my best chances in the Britannia. Aaron Power and Beyonce in the last. 2
fascinating runners. If you put them in at an each way double, you could be cheering a long, long way to a big, big holiday or big payout. What do you make of it, Bill? Any strong selections? You're in form after day 1.
Yeah, I do. I really like Salamarak. I just think he's a cut above these. I will play both of Aiden's in that King George, because I vowed when he had that 1, 2, 3 that I will carry on playing them, and they are group horses masquerading as handicappers, and they just might be a cut above these. And I would go Salamarak and Sir William Bruce each way. It's all about the Sirs at Ascot, and I'll take
it's all about the Knighthoods. Lads, thanks a million for that.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and safe sleeping in your lovely hotel room, Sil.
Thank you.
And check out the website all week. Obviously, we have that Pips to Post offer, but also we have several videos of the week with Sil on his rides day by day at Royal Ascot. That was the Zoom room. Johnny Ward standing in for Luke Tarr with Bill Esdaile and Silvestre de Sousa.